Hello and welcome to Counseling Strategies and Techniques. Happy New Year, everyone. It is the spring semester of 2022 and get ready. You're going to have some fun this semester. This is our first experiential class in a series of quite a few if you're going to be a counselor, whether be it a school counselor or Masters of Counseling Psychology student after an LPC or LADC. This is like I said, the first in a series of classes. Supervised experience comes after this, group counseling, then both practicums. So in all, you get 5 practice classes before you graduate. This class usually shakes people up. I recorded another video, and I'm going to leave it out there. It's the video I recorded last year, and I felt like I did such a good job, I just can't duplicate it. The problem with that is there's a lot of information that doesn't stay the same. For instance, last year, we were under COVID restrictions, and we couldn't really meet face-to-face. This year, we still have COVID as a community, and people are still getting sick. If things go badly, I reserve the right to transform our class back to Zoom. I don't want to do that. I think there are some benefits that were gleaned from using Zoom. One of those is people that were reluctant to travel to a counseling office and show themselves publicly receiving mental health services had a different avenue. That's, I think, a huge thing. However, there are a lot of trade-offs. One of those trade-offs is not living, breathing in the same area and space, and it's not the same. And I hope to have all 3 of our live classes, and I'll go over those dates. A couple of things before I forget them. Yeah, when you're watching that other video, I do want you to watch the other video. I'm not going to go in the same detail that I did there. At 6 minutes and 50 seconds, I mentioned zero masks. Obviously, we're gonna do or mention masking up and distance learning. If we get, gosh, it's such a weird space. If you feel comfortable wearing a mask, I'm good with that. I may mask up. It just kind of depends on where this thing goes. We'll meet in February, March, and in April, and I'll discuss those dates in a minute. At 12 minutes in the other video, I discussed the syllabus. I'm going to discuss the syllabus in this video, and I still think it's worthwhile to watch the other because not a lot has changed as far as expectations. There are a couple of rubric changes that I'll go over. At 22 minutes, I discussed the schedule. That's when you need to stop the other video for sure, because nothing is relevant because the schedule is different. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's look at this class and how it looks. I'm going to open it tomorrow morning, and I'll put this video right above this other one, and I'll label this Introduction from 2021. Welcome to Strategies. We're here in one of our first experiential classes. Let's look at the syllabus. You'll notice that before I get there, you'll notice that there aren't too many links on the side of this left menu that you're looking at. Where I'm going to post everything moving forward is under the weekly learning modules. Please know you're responsible to follow that weekly learning modules. That's how you're going to get from week to week to week in this class. That's where it is shared. And so this is what it looks like. You won't be able to see all these because I have them hidden until the week that they're going to be released. This week, so when you hit weekly learning modules, you'll go back here every Monday when it's released. I'll release new information every Monday, and that's what's going to help you get from Monday to Sunday. Our weeks will go from Monday to Sunday in this class. Please read over the syllabus and the rubrics in their entirety. It's very important that you go ahead and create a thread that says, hey, I understand the syllabus and the rubrics. You're going to be accountable for that. before you can move forward. I'm not going to grade anything else of yours until you do that. Here's the syllabus. Go ahead and blow this up. Make this smaller too. There we go. Let's make it to where we can all read it. My office hours are going to be from 9 a.m. to noon on Monday, Wednesday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., Tuesday, Thursday. We'll meet on 3 Saturdays. Those have been determined. We'll talk about that at the end. Here is the book. I go over this in the other video, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. I also go over a lot of this stuff in the other videos. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. A couple of things have changed. Here are the things that have changed. Your performance assessment. You have to have the syllabus and rubrics acknowledgement before you can move forward. You'll have 2 case study, case conceptualization exams. That's the same. You'll have experiential learning counseling activities via live classes. You'll be a counselor and a client. I talk about that in the other video as well. You'll earn points for both of those. You'll have 6 total discussion posts and assignments. I'll talk about what those are at the end. You're also, this is new from last year, you're going to be assessed on personal and professional disposition. You're welcome to read about that. I have quite a few sentences, paragraphs written devoted to that, a rubric devoted to that. This is primarily your openness to feedback. There are times where this class can feel like you're really getting criticized just about being who you are. And that's not the intention. The intention is to break habits that impede developing a therapeutic relationship with others. A therapeutic relationship is different than being somebody's friend, than being somebody's relative. And I'll go over that ad nauseum. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that right now. You'll hear that in the other recording as well. Here are the point breakdowns, 5 points for the syllabus and rubrics acknowledgement. Here are the case study, case conceptual exams, total of 200. 6 discussion posts worth 20 points each. And you actually have 5 homework assignments that go along with that too. So this is a misnomer. This is not accurate because you're actually going to have 5 assignments, not just 6 discussion posts in total. So you'll have 5 assignments, each worth 20 points for a total of 100. Counseling skill development, 200 points. That's the big part of this. You're going to earn those points through your live classes. You'll also earn participation points being a client. And I'll talk about that in the other video as well. And then the personal and professional disposition, it's either going to be scored adequate or inadequate. So you have to earn a grade of adequate to receive credit for the course. And there are breakdowns as to what that means in this syllabus here. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail except for this disposition. And so please read through this. Please read through disposition. I do want you to be aware of that. Here's the rubric for disposition. And here's a breakdown of our points. There are quite a few points available in this class, 725. And that's how it's laid out. Let's go down and look at the schedule. That's the big thing. People want to know, well, okay, when are things going to happen? When are things going to be due? So here's the schedule. You'll have your first discussion activity due this week. So please go on, do your introductions, follow the discussion. I have a rubric. Make sure you meet the rubric. I think it's 300 words. So if you're just going and there's a minimum requirement that you have to meet when you do your discussions. And I know it's just introductions, but I do want you to spend some time getting to know your peers. If you do more than 3, that's appreciated because you're reaching out. You are getting to know each other as you go forward. A lot of you will get to know each other very well. This is where a cohort really starts to bond. My cohort I graduated with in 2004, we still talk from time to time because you form a bond when you go through this sort of process with somebody. Chapter 1 will have an assignment. Chapter 2, you'll have a discussion. Chapter 3, you'll have an assignment. So you can see there are things due every week. The first live class will be on the 12th of February from 8 to 4 p.m. The classes are going to be on the Enid campus. That's the big thing to note here. I have students in Bartlesville. I have students in Dallas. I have students all over. We also still have some concerns about safety as far as, okay, let's make sure we can mitigate COVID. If it's people are, one person sick, we don't want all 24 people getting sick, or 18, or how we have quite a few, a big class. We have 26 people in this class. With 26 people, we're going to have to break out in small groups to do our experiential activities. And we'll get there. I'll go into more detail when that comes up, but we'll meet as a big group here on the Enid campus and we have a big space, big common area where we can spread out. We don't have to be right next to each other. And we'll go over expectations for the live classes. I'll open a discussion for questions, but please know that there'll be space, and then we'll break out into small groups. I'm debating between 3 and 4 groups. I'm most likely going to go with 4 so people get more practice time sitting in the counselor's chair. So that's going to be on 2/12. Please mark your calendars. Please make time to travel to Enid. If it's icy, if it's bad weather, I will amend this. I don't want to have people die. We will either move it to a different weekend or we will do it via Zoom. So please know that I have some flexibility with that, and I want us all to be safe traveling as well. Chapter 4, discussion. There'll be a discussion board. Chapter 5, there'll be an activity. That's chapter 6, progress notes. You'll have an assignment due the next week. So there's something due each week. I won't make things due. So you have your midterm due the Friday before spring break. That way you get a real break. You don't have to stay plugged into this class. We'll pick back up on the week of the 21st, and we'll have a live class on the 26th. I will probably run I will probably run class using these hours, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. for sure. I will debate about maybe moving that back a little bit, maybe to 9. Depends on what the weather looks like for folks. This one I anticipate running from 8 a.m. to 4. Then again, the next week you have a discussion, next week you have an activity. Finally, our last live class will be the 16th. That is the Saturday immediately before Easter. I will make modifications for folks who may have a religious conflict with that date. So please know I will most likely adjourn that class early for people who need to get home. And we'll talk about that when we get there. The next week is a discussion, and then your final exam will be due the 6th of May. That's in a nutshell what our schedule is going to look like. Please look at the other video. Obviously, take it with a grain of salt when I mention masking up, being on Zoom. Please take it with a grain of salt when I mention the other syllabus, because I did go over some of the changes. If you have any questions, please reach out to me via email. Be happy to entertain those and answer anything that you might have questions about. So take care. Look forward to meeting you and interacting with you more. See ya.